This has been a big issue for teachers. The Education Council says some teachers cannot read, write and do maths well enough to do their job. So this is a major shake-up in the education system. Should it be harder to become a teacher? Let's go to Barry Coates first. What do you think of this?
Sure, fine. I think we ought to upgrade teachers' skills, but we ought to value them more, give them more status in society, and pay them more. We ought to pay
more money.
Teacher aides
All right,
more.
let me ask you.
Because teacher aides get $17, $17 an hour. It's too low. We need to provide more teacher aides for kids with special needs. You know, there's a lot of other stuff going on in our education system, and we're failing kids in low decile schools.
So we pay them more. We pay them more, Barry. How much would you like to see them getting paid?
Well,
a senior teacher.
Look at what Finland's doing and Singapore and Korea. They're upgrading the teachers' skills. They're upgrading their pay. They're making them high status in society. Good people want to go in teaching. That's the kind of education system that will bring our standards up.
How good idea, but how much?
Oh, substantial. I don't know. I haven't done the maths.
100 grand? 100 grand? Yeah? What do you think of this? I mean, Heke Parata says, look, you know, we value, you need a postgrad to get into engineering or medicine or something like that. Up the skill for teachers, get them bigger qualifications. They can teach across the board from primary to secondary. Heke's got a good idea, huh?
I think we should always be reviewing our training of professionals. It doesn't just stay stagnant. But I'm surprised by some of the assertions. I trained as a
like
teacher.
What?
Well, in terms of literacy and numeracy, when I trained as a teacher, you had to do a literacy and numeracy test around the time that you were recruited, so it was done right at the beginning. And actually, I think we have to remember that up until a few years ago, we had some of the best educational results internationally. So something's gone wrong, and I have to say, something's gone wrong under national, actually.
Okay. All right, you're shaking your head to what Carmel was saying there, Andrew.
Well, NCA Level 2 results have increased dramatically. We're now at 82%. Murray and Pacific results have gone up
University
by
entrance
stacks.
has dropped.
You know, and so that's where the test is, because particularly NCA Level 2, that's what the jump-off point to go and get a job.
It's a fair call from Barry, the way that in New Zealand, unlike other countries like Finland or Denmark, we don't respect our teachers as a serious profession. That's the nub. So,
well, that might be what you think.
True.
I don't.
Well,
we do respect our teachers, and I certainly do. I've got 40 schools in my electorate, and I highly value it. I think they're doing a fantastic job.
I don't think we do.
Carmel?
No, I think that Heke Parata has had one of the worst relationships with the teaching profession ever out of any Minister of Education that we can remember in history. And we have to take advice from the experts. That hasn't been done. If there is going to be a review of training, yes, it's the Education Council, but it's also the Principals Association, it's the teachers, it's all of those involved, because it shouldn't be politicians telling the education sector what their training should look like.
All right, well, we have a principal here in the audience. Let's go to Charlotte, and we'll come back to you folk very soon. Charlotte.
In fact, he's the president of the Principals Association, Fiji Cormac. Thank you so much for coming along. How much do teachers get paid?
Well, they start off around $50,000.
So how much should they get paid then if we want to sort of get a more skilled base of teachers?
Well, it's a very good question. The Education Council, and yes, Heke Parata, who set up the Education Council, is interested in raising the status of the profession, and we're really into that. The whole profession is wanting to have a really strong teaching profession. So if you're going to put young people through a master's program, you're going to have to pay them well when they come out. Because when they go in, if they're going to be making decisions about where am I going to go, into the classroom to teach our beautiful young people or into the private sector, no doubt if the private sector is going to offer more, they're going to go there.
So if they start out on 50 now, where do you think they should begin?
Well, currently, the top of the scale for a postgrad trainee is around $70,000. We need to be paying our teachers a heck of a lot more because they do grow our future Aotearoa.
Is the training, are you happy with the training that teachers are getting now, or do you think it could be reassessed?
I think the training that we have at the moment is robust, but there is a variance. We have lots of providers, so we're hoping that whatever changes happen will strengthen the profession. So there's kind of two pathways that the Education Council is looking at the moment. One is a pure master's program where there's a subject specialist area, such as business or te reo Māori or history. But I'm really into the idea of giving teachers a really strong program focused around how do kids teach, how do kids learn, and how do teachers teach. So we need to go back to what, say, Carmel had when she went to university, and myself about 20-odd years ago, having a really rich program around teaching and learning coupled with a subject knowledge area.
Yeah, sounds interesting.
Very, very, very good. Hey, just hands up. Anybody in the audience here, this crowd here tonight, anybody who is a teacher, hands up. Anybody? There's
One.
not-
Oh,
you.
two.
And that's it.
Actually, I trained to be a teacher.
Hey, there's one. Charlotte, go to the person in the stripe. What are your views on teaching? What do you make of what this gentleman said?
Where do you teach?
I teach in Lower Hutt.
Lower Hutt, and secondary or primary?
I teach intermediate.
Fantastic. Are you happy with the training that you got?
Yes, I'm very happy. I got a robust training and it was very classroom based. It meant a lot of practical skills which are really helpful.
So you can read and write?
I definitely can read and write.
It's really important. It's really important.
It's really important, but there's a lot more to being a teacher as well, and it's a very all over the place job, and you've got to know a lot of things.
Thank you.
Very, very good. By the way, hashtag backbenchers, let us know an inspirational teacher that you have. This is why it's such an interesting topic for me, because I can recall some real inspirational teachers that really influenced me as a young person and led me on the path. Around the panel, an inspirational teacher of yours, Barry Coates.
A wonderful man called Pete Greenhouse who taught me English a long time ago. So it was fantastic and gave me a real love of the language.
Yeah, what about you, Carmel?
My secondary school principal, when I went off the rails in seventh form, actually took me in, her and her husband. I lived with them for a large part of my seventh form year because she saw some potential, thank goodness, and ended up getting university entrance like she wanted me to. And
Back on the rails? What do you mean?
Sometimes on, sometimes off, but you know.
We're not talking railway Labour policy, we're talking anyway. Yeah.
But got the university degree.
What about you, Andrew, an inspirational teacher?
Yeah, I had one, my maths teacher actually, for School C back then, and just his ability to take that subject and make it easy in terms of expressing.
All right. Okay, very
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.